Well, so you've had some surgeries as well.
Oh yeah.
How has that gone for you?
So far the only like explicitly trans surgery that I've had is I had my face done a couple of
Hmm.
months ago. And that is an interesting experience because I was so excited for it up until, and this isn't to put anyone off of it, it's just a thing to know because that's what this person told me as well. Someone hit me up and basically said, "Hey, for the first month, you're really going to want to die." I'm like, "What?" "Oh, no, you're going to feel awful." Okay. So I went in, I got my surgery done. I wish they'd gone further. I'm hoping that a lot of it's still just swollen.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, the first month, like, you have such extensive work done to your face, and your brain just dumps all of its hormones because it goes, "Oh, you're having horrible physical trauma." And then, yeah, for the next couple of weeks, you have nothing in your brain. You just feel awful. And that was compounded for me because once I got the bandages off and it was still really swollen,
Hmm.
I ended up trying to go out to the store and people like openly laughed at me because I did kind of look like Shrek. Um, and I was just glad they weren't laughing at me for being trans. They were laughing at me for looking like goddamn Robert Zadar, if you know what he looks like.
Yeah.
Um, so I spent the entire month basically just sitting in my room speaking to no one.
Yeah.
And that was very bad for mental health. It compounded the situation.
Oh, yeah.
So essentially, the big thing that I would recommend if you're getting facial feminization surgery is have a good kind of support group of friends to talk to through that.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like, despite because there's some things like around my jaw where it's still kind of puffy,
Hmm.
and I notice things on camera that no one else does. I Given that all of my work is on camera, like I'm with some of the most gorgeous trans women in existence,
Right.
and it's hard to not compare yourself.
Yeah.
But I'm healing really well. Like, uh, you can barely see the hairline scar unless I lift up my hair and
Right.
show it. Um, Everything else, like the only other scarring is inside my mouth, actually, because that's how they get to your jaw and
Hmm.
chin. So it just kind of feels weird in there sometimes running my tongue over it.
Yeah. The scarring inside your mouth, is it like,
Mhm.
does it have like the nerve endings there still? Are you able to feel like your
Yes.
tongue rubbing against it? Okay.
Mhm. Actually, it's kind of funny. I had thought that I had regained all the feeling that I would because
Hmm.
I can feel all the stuff in my mouth because inside of your mouth heals really well. It's kind of weird. I've bitten through my tongue before,
Ah.
and that heals. No, it was. Sorry to divert to a non trans related thing, but when I was a kid, I was in a martial arts class that
Hmm.
was for like ages 10 to 16.
Sure.
But the teacher's kid was also in it, and this kid was like 6 and not mature enough for that, and would just kind of flail around and try to punch you and not really care about anything. And
Right.
then one day we were trying to figure out how to get out of like a grab from behind. And when he grabbed me, because I was the sparring partner for him, because I could go easy on a child,
Yeah.
um, he freaked out and let go immediately. But when I grabbed him, he didn't do the technique at all. He just jumped up and bumped his head into my chin and
Oh,
messed up my tongue. It
goodness.
healed like within a day.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Like
incredible.
it heals pretty easily.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that in my mouth, it regained feeling really easily.
Hmm.
Um my chin is still numb like right here.
Hmm.
Just a little bit. I'm actually starting to get that back in the past like couple of
Oh,
weeks.
nice.
And head, like I can feel pressure here now and I didn't used to be,
Hmm.
but it's also weirdly itchy cuz you just get like
Yeah.
a feeling your nerves are doing stuff and that's oh god. Um FFS recovery gave me a lot of sensations that I don't think the human brain was meant to try to parse. So like it was when I was trying to eat like a month in, and my lip would move. It would feel like there's just a like spider web of threads going through my lip and my face, and it felt so weird because I was pulling on this whole like net.
Yeah.
And then I realized those are my nerves.
Ugh,
And they're just kind of starting up again, and it's such a weird feeling, but it eventually went away.
that's good. Yeah, I have a friend, Annabelle, who's had
Oh.
FFS and a hairline
Mhm.
addition or movement or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know what it's called, but
that's what they did to me.
yeah. Annabelle says that it almost kind of sometimes feels like Bun's wearing a helmet. Do you
Yeah,
empathize with
I
that
can say
feeling?
that.
Yeah.
There's like it's like right here
Hmm.
that is still a little numb and a little weird feeling.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, yeah.
And oh, also
Hmm.
in like depending because um can't talk much about it, but I might be getting flown to Europe for work. So I might
Sorry,
have to
what was
push
that?
it. I might be getting flown to Europe for work.
Oh, nice.
But as it stands now, my date for my top surgery is September 6th,
Hmm.
and I'd be flying down to Miami and getting that done. So that's my next thing on my list.
Nice. Well, I'm very excited for you. September's not too
Thank
far
you.
away now.
No.
Um, well, what else about your experience has been unique? Have you made
Hmm.
any good friends in the trans
Oh,
community?
yes, I have, and it's mostly been like within my industry,
Hmm.
but I've met a lot of really good people. Like, want to shout out my girlfriend Anna because it's kind of like the whole story of how we met is kind of like a bad fan fiction, but it's delightful because she was a fan of my work for about a year.
Hmm.
And in her mind, she was like, "Oh, Nikki's so famous. She'll never work with me."
Hmm.
And in my mind, I go, "Oh, this girl's kind of cute. I'd love to work with her."
Yeah.
And when we finally meet up, instant chemistry, wonderful time together, great on film. And then we're both in LA for an awards show.
Hmm.
And she hits me up to be her date for the show. We go to the pre party a couple of days ahead and we spend the whole night together, and it's wonderful. The next day, she was going to film something with some other people, but they were too hungover from the party. So she calls me over and we make something, and then we just spend the entire day on a date in Hollywood.
That's
And
awesome.
then the next day, we go to the award show. We're the first ones on the red carpet. We're just openly simping for each other. Bad thing about that award show is there was a dude that snuck in that put something in a drink of mine. So I was, yeah, I got roofied and it was bad. But Anna took care of me the whole time. And apparently, while I was messed up, I confessed that I loved her. And then she hit me up a week later and was like, "Hey, you still good on that?" And I'm like, "Yes." So I'm going down next month to see her.
Oh, that's
But
so sweet.
I've met her. I've met a whole bunch of other people, like my friend Autumn that I live with now. Oh, just it's been nice being able to just meet a lot of different people and kind of bond with them. Like
Hmm.
in San Francisco, I didn't really make connect. I had a lot more trans mask friends out there than trans femme, but out here it's like I sit down at my computer, I get ready to start editing, and then I get a text from one of my friends going like, "Hey, we're all going out to Dave and Buster's. Do you want to come?" And it's just cool to actually have like friends to go do stuff with.
Yeah, I really empathize with that myself because I just moved a couple trans people in with me, and
Oh hell yeah!
we got a new apartment and everything's gorgeous out here. Yeah, one of them came from Pennsylvania, and the other one came from Wisconsin. So
Okay.
yeah, it's been quite the experience, and they are absolutely loving it. And I personally I work from home, and my partner doesn't, And
Hmm.
so when it was me working from home and her working away from home, and our schedules were so different, I had so much time alone in the apartment by myself. It just, I don't know, it made me feel so weird and insecure. But
Yeah,
like being surrounded by friends that care about you and you care about them and everybody wants to do stuff together, like that's such an incredible feeling. It
it
makes you
does
feel like
help.
there's like so much more community. Um,
Hmm.
so I'm glad that you were able to find that yourself as well.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about any of your hobbies or other interests or anything like that that you might have?
Oh gosh. So I haven't really had time for a lot of hobbies, and for the most part, most of my hobbies are tied into my work.
Hmm.
Like figuring out how to do better photography, and I can't really make art very well. I can't draw, I can't do that sort of thing.
Hmm.
So I have been making just a bunch of art with photography. It's just off my phone, but composite images, like just taking a whole bunch of different pictures of one particular angle and then like compositing them together. So the most popular ones that I've done were after my FFS recovery, when I was trying to work through a lot of identity issues and depression. I made a bunch of pictures of these like robed specters just kind of haunting my room, kind of reaching out at me.
Hmm.
And people loved those, and I do too. They're really evocative.
Yeah, I think I
But
saw that one. That was really powerful.
mhm,
Um, Sorry, go ahead.
but oh, besides that, I really like figuring out new video editing things. Yeah, a lot of my hobbies are tied into my work. I do play a lot of games, but I haven't recently,
Hmm.
just because I've been moving. I haven't had my computer set up. Um, I also just don't really have the motivation. Like yesterday was my first free day. I was an extra on a really big name set.
Oh,
Um, I was playing a schoolgirl, and I got paid a substantial amount to just point and laugh at a like jock getting bullied by a trans girl.
hell yeah.
It
That's
was
awesome.
it was fun. But I got home and I'm like, okay, I finally have a day to myself. I'm not unpacking, I'm not filming, I'm gonna do stuff. And then I just sat in my computer chair and like scrolled Twitter for like 6 hours.
Yeah.
Because I turned on a game and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play this. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, I empathize with
but
that.
it's a feeling of wanting to do something, but just not really having the motivation to do recreational things almost. Like
Hmm.
for the past month, I've done some of my best work, but it's all because I've been like constantly moving, constantly like hectic. And then the second there's like a moment to settle down, it's just like, okay, I'm just gonna rot into my chair.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to be really motivated to play like a whole bunch of video games and stuff like that and hang out with friends in Discord and
Mhm.
stuff, but like since the move and getting everything together and picking up streaming again, like I almost feel like sometimes if I'm not using my downtime to further the projects that I'm working on, that I'm almost wasting it, you know?
Yeah, I get that. That's that is a big thing for me
Yeah.
because I have a bunch of like solo stuff that I want to film and that I kind of need to film because I got really into Elden Ring while I
Hmm.
was recovering from FFS, and I have some concepts that I want to film from Elden Ring,
Oh, I'm excited
but
for that.
it's again just like, oh, I don't know how to set it up. Uh,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, it does become daunting after a while.
mhm.
Um, I think I did catch one of your Minecraft streams at some point, like
Oh
a
yeah.
number of months ago.
Hmm.
Are you still into playing Minecraft?
Yeah, I've Minecraft is actually like if I had to pick a game that was my like all-time favorite just based on how much I've played it, I'd have to say Minecraft because I bought it in 2010 when it was in like one of the alphas, I think.
Hmm.
I think they just added beds.
Oh.
Um but yeah, I've been playing it on and off ever since, mostly modded now, but
Hmm.
just yeah. considering that it's been over a decade and I'm still playing it, that's a pretty good game right there.
Yeah, well, and they're always adding new stuff. They just added
Yeah.
the Deep Dark or something. I don't know what
Yeah.
it's called, but my partner loaded up a new Minecraft server recently, and
Oh.
um, she was running around, and I like she showed me like all kinds of like random chasms and stuff like that, and I was like,
Mhm.
that's different. What happened here? Was it like a meteor storm or what's going on? No, apparently it's just more.
It's the
Before
world
where
gen.
it was like all plains and you'd have to dig to get anywhere, like
Mhm.
now it's like, oh, you can walk around for a little bit and you can find something to explore.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Mhm. But
Um,
like that. Oh yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say the games I've played the most recently are yeah, Minecraft, Elden Ring. Ended up playing that Borderlands spin-off, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
Hmm.
That's pretty fun, but I kind of only want to play it on stream because like playing it by myself is just kind of boring.
Yeah. I get that. Like, there will be some games that I want to play, and then I'll be like, oh, I should play this on stream, and then I never play it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh. But I guess I have to get more comfortable with using my personal time for myself and
Mhm.
not always feel like I have to make content out of everything. So,
That is the struggle.
yeah, I
Because
feel like
that's
a lot of creators struggle with that.
mhm. And it's a kind of funny version of that in my industry because I remember some of my friends got a house together
Hmm.
to do like the whole content house thing. And hearing about one of my friends yelling at another girl because, wait, you did a grinder hookup and you didn't like give them paperwork and film it? What are you doing? That's money on the table right there.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, that's unhealthy.
Yeah. No, it really is. But I totally empathize with that mindset because it's like you feel like anytime you're doing something that's related to your interests, you have to do it for, to advance your projects or for
Mhm.
your career or something like that. And
Absolutely.
yeah, it can be really damaging to not just take that time for yourself and just do some personal stuff.
Yeah.
Well, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Not really. I think I've covered everything kind of trans related as it comes to myself, but I mean, also it's very that's another thing that I've seen come up a lot is like a lot of people don't really understand that even the like gorgeous celebrities that they look at on the internet also have the same kind of dysphoria that they do.
Hmm.
Because like I've posted a couple of sad things on my personal account which I shouldn't do because apparently because it's enough people from my work follow it that it's like, oh, I don't want them getting concerned.
Right.
But when I post about how like I don't like something about myself, I get comments going like, "Oh, what don't you have to like? You're perfect. I wish I looked like you." And I'm like the top in my industry, I can name at least 6 like perfect looking gorgeous top name models that all have the exact same like I hate myself and my body dysphoria. They
Hmm.
just don't publicize it.
Right.
And it's just a thing that everyone has to deal with no matter how conventionally attractive you are, you still have it.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of how bad society reinforces it on you.
Right. Well, and I think that's a very important point. To remember that, no matter what stage you're at in your transition, um, there are other people that feel the same way. That
Mhm.
even the people that you think are perfect and are just absolutely perfectly happy with themselves, everybody struggles with this. And it's usually those people that seem on the outside so perfect that have it more intense on the inside.
Mhm.
And yeah, I totally agree. I think that's very important for everyone to remember, especially those early in transition, because it is incredibly daunting. The
It
idea of
is.
transition. It takes some people years or even decades to become comfortable with themselves to the point where they're like, okay, yeah, let's start. Let's do this. Let's
Mhm.
actually do the transition thing. And I think that is a very good point to keep in mind, that everybody goes through that. All the trans people that
Mhm.
that you've ever seen, everybody will have a similar experience as far as that goes. So,
Mhm. It's just something that I've seen a lot on the internet of like people not, and I understand, like I've been in that boat. It's
mhm,
just a matter of like, I don't know, relating to that we're all kind of in the same boat on that one of,
mhm.
oh, we all have that going on in our head.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Well, if there's not anything else, we can go ahead and wrap up
Oh,
for the day.
absolutely. Thank you.
Of course. Well, it was a pleasure having you. I'd love to have you on again sometime.
Oh
From
yeah.
time to time, I do these little, what I call the treehouse hangouts, where I
Mhm.
get a bunch of friends together and we just talk about whatever's going on, whatever we want to talk about. So I'd
Fantastic.
love to have you on for one of those, chat with some more of my friends and stuff like that. I really
Yeah.
am super into like community building and stuff like that. So,
Mm.
yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time. Sorry, go
Thank
ahead.
you. No, I just thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, thanks. Well, thank you everybody for coming out. If you missed the stream, it is going to be available on YouTube. I'll be editing tonight and hopefully have that posted Saturday morning. So
Hmm.
thank you all so, so much for coming out. Thank you, Nikki, for being here. It was a pleasure speaking with you. I hope you have a wonderful day and keep in touch, okay?
Thank you. I will.
All
Bye.
right. Bye, everybody.